Hey guys, in today's video we'll be talking about all the references from Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 found in the third DLC update for Sonic Frontiers. Unless you're a Sonic fan who's literally been living on Planet Mobius, then most of you should have already known about this update. But as a recap, for y'all stuck in the loop-de-loop, Sonic Frontiers received its final update in September of 2023 that added an all-new story, challenges, and characters to play as. Yes, you heard that right. For the first time in a long time, Sonic's friends are now playable in 3D. I'm also happy to announce that they all have their own unique playstyles as well, some which are inspired by the Sonic Adventure games. So let's dive in and talk about it. But before we do, I want to let you guys know about our second channel, Real Life Glitch Entertainment, where we've been creating Sonic animations and other cool fan content from some of our other favorite franchises. If you want more content from us that's a little different than the stuff we post here, go check out our other channel and support the brand by subscribing. Anyways, on to today's topic. While some of the Sonic Adventure references in Update 3 for Frontiers might be a bit obvious, today we're going to look at those and some that might be a little less obvious. Starting with your boy Knuckles. The first reference we're going to talk about comes from Knuckles' standard attack combo. In Sonic Frontiers, Knuckles gets a 3-punch combo he can perform on enemies or objects. 2 punches and an uppercut. Wanna know what else has 2 punches and an uppercut? Your mom. Sonic Adventure 2. Knuckles' standard combo in that game are also 2 punches and an uppercut. Knuckles attacks with his right fist first, then his left, and finishes the combo by lunging into the air. Knuckles in Sonic Frontiers does the exact same thing, blow for blow. It's a direct callback to the SA2 combo, and I'm so happy it made a return in Frontiers. But that's not the only move that's returned from Sonic Adventure 2. The Drill Claw also makes a return. In SA2, Knuckles could dive downward to either hit enemies or bury himself into the ground depending on the surface. That move is here in Sonic Frontiers, but acts more like a stomp ability, in that your trajectory is straight down. While it doesn't feel as snappy and fun as Knuckles in SA2, it's still nice to see this move come back in a modern Sonic game. While we're on the topic of Sonic Adventure 2, this reference is a bit easier to miss. In Sonic Frontiers, Knuckles can have his side loop ability maxed out, and when he does, Knuckles will punch the ground with great force, causing damage to any nearby enemies and create a really cool side loop effect. This move actually comes from Sonic Adventure 2's multiplayer, where if a player collects 20 rings, Knuckles will punch the ground, causing the other player to fall or stagger if they're touching the level surface. It's a small subtle throwback that I really appreciate, and I'm happy to see it expanded upon for Frontiers. Now, just like in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, Knuckles can also glide and climb. While these abilities were introduced back in Sonic 3, seeing them again in a modern Sonic game just feels like playing the adventure games all over again. Unfortunately, in Frontiers, Knuckles can only climb on these specific surfaces that are marked with these red or green patterns. It does take a little while to get used to since the controls aren't exactly like the adventure games, but what's really cool here is that Knuckles can boost while climbing, making your ascension or descent all the more speedy. Knuckles can also glide in Frontiers. It does feel rather slippery when trying to turn, and definitely takes some getting used to if you're coming from the adventure games. Knuckles does descend over distance just like those games, but if you max out your rings with the special ability, Knuckles can fly indefinitely at the same latitude that you took flight with him. But another reference that I think a lot of players missed is this red heat wave that surrounds Knuckles while he's gliding with max rings. This actually comes from one of Knuckles' special moves in Sonic Adventure, where Knuckles can charge up a heat wave and launch himself at enemies or item boxes, similar to Sonic's ancient light move from the adventure games. Knuckles will glide after whatever is in his proximity until it's obtained or killed. In Frontiers, you can also damage enemies while gliding with Knuckles at max rings, which is a cool little detail, and unfortunate they didn't do something like this with Sonic's boost when he reaches max rings. Up next is the homie Amy, who's obviously filled with plenty of Sonic Adventure references. To start, we'll talk about something a little more nuanced. Amy's jump. Something you'll notice about all the playable characters in Sonic Frontiers is that when they do their initial jump, they turn into a ball. Well, that's everyone except Amy. Amy's initial jump is more like a leap into the air. This comes from Sonic Adventure, where Amy would jump into the air without turning into a ball. She would maintain her full form just like Big the Cat in E102 Gamma. And just like Sonic Adventure, Amy is vulnerable to damage in this jump. Guess she should have taken better notes from her friends. Now, this thing is what got me inspired to make this video in the first place. Amy retains her same acrobatic moves from Sonic Adventure, and it feels so nice here. In SA1, when Amy is running at top speed, you can do the basic hammer attack, which will send Amy flipping through the air. In Sonic Frontiers, if you hold down the stomp button after a stomp, Amy will also launch herself into the air for extra height and will perform similar acrobatic flips as she did in Sonic Adventure, which is a neat and subtle callback. So unfortunately, in Sonic Frontiers, Amy doesn't use her signature Pico Pico hammer as her primary weapon. Instead, she uses cards. However, if you hold the attack button after pressing it twice though, Amy will surround herself with cards and perform a spinning attack. Doing it for too long will cause Amy to get dizzy, just like Amy's hammer spin move from Sonic Adventure. This is a really cool move from SA1 that's been slightly expanded upon. Now Amy can move around while spinning instead of being completely static, and if you get max rings, Amy can spin indefinitely. While I do wish she was using her signature hammer instead, it is cool to see this move return with some enhancements. And finally, let's talk about your boy Tails. The most obvious and greatest ability Tails has in Sonic Frontiers that is a clear throwback to Sonic Adventure 2 is being able to fly around in Tails' Cyclone. Introduced in SA2, Tails transforms his famous tornado plane into a walker known as the Cyclone. This is Tails' main gameplay style in SA2. However, in Sonic Frontiers, you can take to the sky in this thing. Tails can literally fly around the entire map at top speed, piloting this thing. It even has a special beam ability it can attack with, which is straight out of Sonic Adventure 2's multiplayer. You can use it to eliminate small enemies or cause decent amount of damage to the Guardians. While this is easily one of my favorite abilities in Sonic Frontiers, I can't help but wish they included a projectile attack for the Cyclone. Some of these fights would go so much harder if Tails could shoot projectiles. In fact, Tails' gameplay style could have been more airborne based had they included it, which would still work for a lot of the enemies you fight in this update. But maybe that's a rant for another time. The second reference that comes from the adventure games in Tails' gameplay style for Frontiers are these green rings. They first appeared in Sonic Adventure, which would give you a speed boost while racing Sonic in the action stages. In Frontiers, they do the same thing. Hitting one will grant you a speed boost and will refresh your flight time, so you'll definitely want to go through them if you see them. Other characters can also use them if you're able to reach them, but they just fling you forward at high speeds. The last Sonic Adventure reference I noticed with Tails was his boost animation. It's been a while since we saw our brown fox run in 3D. In Sonic Adventure, Tails propels himself forward with his tails while his hands hang off to the side and his feet slide across the floor. In Frontiers, Tails has the same animation, but it's been updated. Tails now holds his hands in fists by his side, which really gives the feeling that Tails is trying his best, which goes along great with the game's story, and almost feels as if Tails has grown up a bit, and this simple change in his running animation conveys this extremely well. And the final Sonic Adventure reference I noticed is that each character has their own song. As you unlock each character and play as them on the island, the song that plays in the background is completely unique to that specific character, something that was introduced in Sonic Adventure and wouldn't quite return after Sonic Adventure 2. While these are all the Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 references I found for each character, I did want to make note of a few other references I noticed in Update 3. I'm sure everyone noticed this giant ring you go through to activate the new content for Update 3. This is clearly a reference to the Sonic movie, in which Sonic opens up ring gateways to travel to different places. Seems like Ian Flynn wanted to incorporate something from the Sonic movies into Frontiers, and it's honestly a welcome addition. But yeah, those have been all the Sonic Adventure references I've found in the third DLC update for Sonic Frontiers. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this type of video, and if you'd like to see something like this again in the future. Also, if you found any Sonic Adventure references that I might have missed, comment them down below since I love learning new things about this game. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, also our second channel because you know you wanna, and leave the video a like if you enjoyed it. But until then, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.